When exactly was it first created?
Cataraqui Cemetery Company was first created in 1850. We actually celebrate 171 years, August 10th this year. And it was formed by an act of legislation of the province of Canada. But I assume that it took a few years to get those things organized before August 10th, 1850. And I have to think that the forefathers who planned Cataraqui Cemetery were thinking that this was a cemetery befitting Kingston as Canada's first capital.
How did this company come about?
It came out of a need to create a cemetery that was for all of the citizens of Kingston. If you recall, the McBurney or Skeleton Park area was almost set up like a wagon wheel where there were different parts set up for the Anglicans and for the Methodists and for the Lutherans and so on and so forth. And there came an idea where we needed a new cemetery that was all-inclusive, non-sectarian, that was non-denominational, meaning everybody is welcome onto that. And then we didn't follow any of those religious tones or those religious rules. Plots are laid out in every which direction, not always facing east or the rising sun. And we're really using the topography of the land out there, giving us this cemetery that was really meant for everybody in a different way than a traditional churchyard. The concept of interment rights is something that either needs better explanation through our associations, through cemeteries, or just through general knowledge. The idea is that interment rights is the right to bury in a plot. The cemetery always owns that land. We're the ones that pay the taxes on it and so on and so forth. We maintain it. So what we do is we offer the right to bury in that land. And that right has been sold to somebody. So we have families where that right might have been sold to 3 generations' grandfather. And today I might have a lady come in, let's say Mrs. Smith, and she says, well, I'd like to be buried with my parents and my grandparents in the family plot. Current provincial legislation states that Mrs. Smith actually has to have the permission in writing from her 3 times great-grandfather, who is still listed on the deed or the title of rights from 1860, which creates, obviously, you can say some legal complications. Is how does she get that permission? We do have ways around that. We've talked to our legal counsel, we've talked to the provincial regulators and the legislators, and we do have ways to get families around that. But it's difficult, it's time consuming, and often something somebody doesn't want to hear when they're about to meet with us to organize an interment. So in Cataraqui Cemetery, about center of it, almost to the heart of the cemetery, is a military section called the Field of Honor. And that Field of Honor dates to 1861. So you are 6 years before Canadian Confederation. It was actually established by the British War Department for $1, setting that land aside for the burial of their military. And later on, part of we talk about today with the downloading of services and so on and so forth. So Canada is now responsible for its own militia and its own military grows out of Battery A and Battery B, is that it continued as a military section for the Canadian Armed Forces. There are individuals in that section that had served in the Crimean War as drummer boys. There's individuals that were sent west, part of the Northwest Rebellion. There's individuals from World War I, World War II. There's Australian airmen in that section. Regrettably, there are individuals from Afghanistan who lost their lives, Princess Patricia's Light Infantry here in Kingston, and other individuals who may have served at CFB Kingston, who lost their lives or succumbed to injuries while serving, are interred in that section. And there is an annual Day of Remembrance service, just a few days before the Day of Remembrance in November 11th. It's a local committee that comes forward, organizes, places flags of known veterans throughout the cemetery, which is a big volunteer task. And it's very heartwarming, even though it's cold outside at that day. But to be in a military section for a Remembrance Day service is certainly fitting.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed that, hit the like button. And don't forget to subscribe for more content.